you wonderful humans. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about how you can use ChatGPT to start working smarter and not harder. So if content creation feels hard, if you are feeling overwhelmed or unorganized, or you feel like it takes too much time to come up with ideas, or you feel like you don't have time to plan and write and post consistently, then I am convinced it is because you are not using ChatGPT as your marketing assistant. ChatGPT is literally my high-performing, overworked, and underpaid AI employee and thought partner sometimes, and it's still so underutilized. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how I would use ChatGPT to easily plan, create, and improve my Instagram content and presence for my business that I'm going to be making up, so you can do the same for yours as well. Let's dive in. Now, the most important part to getting the most out of ChatGPT that I don't really see people talk about or explain is that you have to tailor ChatGPT to your business and your personality first so that it doesn't sound generic. So priming ChatGPT or briefing it on who you are and how you sound is really, really important. So ChatGPT has inputs, which is the direction and the data and the information you give it, and then outputs, which are the responses that you'll receive. So without giving it the right inputs, the outputs you get, meaning your strategy, your content, your captions, they will look and sound like everybody else. And that's how you get called out for using AI. And throughout this, I'll be saying ChatGPT because that's the tool we use, but this can be for any LLM or large language model. That's what LLM stands for, like Meta AI or Gemini by Google or Claude by Anthropic. They all essentially work the same. They're all in the AI battle wars together. Now, before we dive in, you'll notice that I have these custom prompts that I'm going to be pasting in, and they are from our free ChatGPT Instagram content planning and creation guide that actually inspired this video. So everything I'm pasting into ChatGPT, you can access too by just clicking the link in the description, so you can easily copy and paste as well. So let's prime ChatGPT. So I'm in a new temporary chat, so none of my other stuff is bleeding into this. I want to pretend that I'm a completely new business. And I've opened a new chat, and I'm going to add this prompt in here to get ChatGPT started and knowing what's going on. So I'm letting it know this chat will be my social media and content strategy chat. I'll give you background on my business. Please confirm when you're ready. Perfect. I'm ready when you are. Go ahead and drop the background. And the reason I'm doing this in sections is because sometimes ChatGPT can get ahead of itself, and you want everything to kind of go in a succession here. So I'm pasting in the next prompt. I'm a plant shop, or you'll say I have a plant shop located in Houston, Texas. Let's switch it up, right? I will always do coffee, so I'm trying to switch it up and do something different. We sell, and then you would list here your products and services. I love actually putting screenshots of like the store, if you have that available, or like blog posts, things like that, whatever you might be borrowing or talking about. Like if you have a ton of offers and things like that, you could screenshot your offer page and put it in there, or you can list these out. I'm just gonna list these out because I don't actually have a plant shop to showcase the products. So I'm just gonna paste in a bunch of products and services I prepped. So I listed a bunch of plants. We have pots, and then soil and classes as well. And I'm taking those brackets out. Honestly, you could leave the brackets in and it would still work. My target audience is, you really want to be descriptive here with your demographic. And I also pre-prepared a demographic here, just so I could be faster when I'm copying and pasting. Technically, you would be copying and pasting your target audience from which you should have, which is a document that already has this information listed out for you. So technically, your business plan or your overall marketing plan. So as you see me doing this, I'm able to just enter in the products and services, or enter in my target audience and be very descriptive with the target audience. If you don't already have this prepared somewhere, it's likely because you do not have a social media strategy as a whole. And I really recommend that you download our social media strategy template then, which is in the description box below as well. And we have a whole video that will walk you through the process, because right now we're just focusing on the content side of things. We're not focusing on this wider full strategy, which is how much money you want to make and how those goals are tied back to your social media objectives and all that stuff. So you really should have that too. Again, it's a free download in the description box. So yes, my target audience is millennials, plant enthusiasts who also focus on home decor, landscaping, and spend hours scrolling gardening reels on Instagram. That's how specific and rich you want to be with your descriptions. Even the more, the better. And then I want to use social media to blank. And then I'm going to put in some goals here that I also just pre-prepared, which I want to use social media to increase my store foot traffic, fill our weekly terrarium workshops, and sell online products. And then I'm also specifically saying I'll follow with more prompts once you confirm, because I don't want it again getting ahead. I just wanted to say like, yes, I received this information. Let's get started. So here we go. Perfect. Receive the information reiterated back to me. And now that means ChatGPT is primed and understands who we are, so we can get started on the fun stuff. And a bonus here too is the more information, the better. So in the priming process, we also recommend you screenshot some posts and captions or scripts you have, or comments, responses, FAQs, and tell ChatGPT to remember how you sound and how you engage with your audience, and have it add that tone of voice and your personality to its memory so that can come all the way through in your content. So that's a huge missed opportunity that people don't include as well. Now that ChatGPT knows more about you and how you sound, we can put it to work to help you with one of the most important parts of your Instagram presence, which is optimizing your profile. Now, you want to optimize your Instagram profile or any of your social profiles so that when someone lands on your profile, they immediately know who you are and are encouraged to hit follow. And you do that by letting them know they're in the right place and that your content or your business is for them. So what you'll do, and I have a like little mock / test account that we use. So what we're going to do is screenshot our profile, and you can really just do the bio part of it. I'm just putting the whole thing in there. But we're going to screenshot this, and then we're going to enter a prompt to get ChatGPT to help us optimize our profile. So I've just copy and pasted it in here, and it says, please review my attached Instagram bio and refresh it to include the following: keywords that are optimized for search, both in my name and bio text, a clear bio with 150 characters max that answers the following questions: who I am, who I serve, and how I serve them, so they're enticed to follow me, and a CTA to my core offers based on my goals. I hit paste and we see what ChatGPT comes up with. And by the way, if you can't upload screenshots, you can just copy and paste the actual text of your bio and paste it into ChatGPT as well. All right, so here's what ChatGPT thinks. HS Plant Shop, proper. Houston Succulents and Workshops. Ooh, I like that. SEO, okay? Helping Houston plant lovers style their space, shop plants, and join DIY terrarium classes. And then they actually also offered a book, a workshop, or shop online below. So they're looking at the goals that we mentioned and helping to craft a cute, direct bio that is very SEO friendly. And it will even tell you the reasons why it chose what it chose. That they're who we are, who we serve, and how we serve them. Another bonus thing you could do here is be like, what should I put for my links in bio? I get up to 5. Because obviously you always want to use your link in bio real estate, and ChatGPT knows that as well. And here you go. Because it knows what my goals are, because I primed it, it's listing out suggestions for what my links in bio could be. So of course I would go to my plant shop. You need to direct to your offer for sure. Our other offer is the workshop, so we have it there. They're even just saying, come and visit our store, and they're telling us where we would link it to. They've created kits that I didn't even tell it I sell, or did I tell it I sell that? Oh, because I did, so there you go. And then even an email list. I didn't tell it, but I wanted to grow the email list, and it's already doing that as well. So now it's written our bio for us, gave us some recommendations on links, and you can also have it help you organize or build out your highlights, which sit just below your bio and are so critical. Having highlights on your Instagram profile is key to making it easier for people to learn more about you and what you offer without having to scroll through your entire feed. So you want to ask ChatGPT to create Instagram highlights for you. And here's what you'd prompt. I want to create Instagram highlights that clearly communicate what I offer, are visually consistent, and encourage profile visitors to stay, explore, and convert. Can you suggest 5 to 7 Instagram highlight categories I should use, including a name for each highlight, 1 to 2 words, and I'm saying that because you don't get a lot of space with your highlights, like the titles of each highlight, and then what types of stories to include in each one. All right, so what do we got? Shop. Perfect. Provided the purpose, so we know why we're using it, and then the types of stories to include. So it's given us a shop highlight, a workshops highlight, a visit us highlight, which is so cute. Look, store walkthroughs or tours, put your hours and locations, pet friendly or kid friendly, staff intros, a dedicated highlight for our DIY kits, the tips that we could be doing, because of course we'd be having educational content and testimonials as well, and then events if that's something that we do. These are 7 very solid Instagram highlights that we would recommend that somebody add to their profile, specifically if they're a shop. And then when it comes to designing these highlight covers and overall making sure that your profile looks consistent, because you also want to look consistent, you want to look good, right? And this is all from a branding perspective. I filmed a video breaking down how you can do all of this and get your profile on point using Canva. I'll leave it here for you as well. All right, so now that our profile is on point, it's time to have ChatGPT help us with our content pillars. So your content pillars are the foundation of your social media strategy. They guide what you post, they keep you consistent, and they make sure your content aligns with your business goals. So we use our pillars framework to do this for ourselves and for our clients. It's how we make sure every post has a purpose. And I'll put a little thing of what our pillars framework means here. So if you want to build your content pillars using our framework and make sure that ChatGPT is really giving thought and consideration to those pillars, which will give you better content pillars, then you can download our free template linked in the description and just upload it into ChatGPT with the prompt like, using what you know about my business, can you help me define my content pillars using the pillars framework template attached. But if you want to keep it simple and skip the framework for now, you can also use this prompt, which is, based on everything I've shared with you about my business, my target audience, and my goals, can you suggest 3 to 5 Instagram content pillars that I can consistently post about? Each pillar should align with what I offer, what my audience cares about, and help me move towards my goals, because we've primed ChatGPT. It knows what our goals are. Please name each pillar and include a short description of the type of content I'd post under it. And then we can see ChatGPT loading up 5 highly strategic Instagram content pillars for us. So, plant education. Of course, we gotta have education. As we always say, content should be educational, inspirational, whether it just inspires you to feel good or feel something different or think differently or get you to buy. And then it also should be entertaining if possible. Every pillar should at least hit one of those. So plant education makes perfect sense. Audience is curious, and this will teach and empower them and position you as an expert. And then it's also giving us some examples as well of posts as we had asked it to. So how to care for tutorials, common plant parent mistakes and how to fix them, watering hacks, lighting tips, seasonal care guides, before and after plant transformation, carousels. So really, that is pretty sweet content if you think about it. Like, those are the types of things that you'd want to see from a plant shop account. Then we have shop the greenery. So this is where we promote our products without feeling too salesy. So that's important too. Then we have workshops and DIY vibes. So because workshops are such a big part of our business, which ChatGPT understands, so it's providing us with really cool ideas that ladder back up to that pillar. And then our plant and home aesthetic. Of course, if I'm selling house plants, it's about having a vibe and curating a vibe. Mood boards, UGC, styling tips, love it. And then community and culture. Of course, if you have a shop, community and culture are always going to be huge. If you're anything where you're in a brick and mortar somewhere, you have to take care of the people around you. There's an online community, but there's a physical community. And I think this is really good that it added that as one of the pillars as well. So we have 5 solid content pillars with post ideas created for our business in just that one prompt. Remember, this is not just an end game. You can go back and forth and refine if you feel like something doesn't align. These are great, and I'm happy with this for my plant shop. So we're going to move forward with the content strategy. So now that we have our pillars in place, let's get ChatGPT to help build our content calendar that aligns with our pillars and factors in key dates and events. So having a plan for the month is so key in keeping you consistent. So being able to have support here from AI to come up with ideas and organize them is such a huge benefit in making sure that you're not just posting at random. It makes sure that you're posting with intention. So the inputs you'll want to give ChatGPT are things like how often you plan to post, your content pillars, if it wasn't like in this one chat, but it's going to know what our content pillars are, any key dates or events coming up, and then specific holidays that matter for your business or your audience. So I'm just going to paste in our general prompt, which is just, and I'm just removing ChatGPT because we're already talking. You should also say please and thank you sometimes if you can, because you never know where we're headed. All right. So I need a content calendar for my business for May. It already knows what the business is. That's why I took out what the typing in actually the business name. We plan to post, and then we're going to enter how many times per week, 3 times per week. The content should focus on balancing these pillars that we've talked about. In the prompt guide, it'll have you list out your pillars, but because we've already gone into this together and it's in the one chat, I'm just saying these pillars because it already knows what our pillars are. We also want to include content related to key dates so for example, would say Mother's Day. And I said May 2025, so it'll know what day that is. Mother's Day, and a workshop happening on May 18th. And I'll call it a terrarium workshop happening on May 18th. Can you help me map this out? Please include the pillar, post topic, format, and date for each post. All right, now we have ChatGPT creating an entire calendar for us. Look at this. Okay, we got our May 2025 full Instagram content calendar created. We have our pillars, we have our post topics, and then we have the format, just like we asked for, and our dates. And do we have our Mother's Day post that we asked for? You know, I don't see a Mother's Day post here unless I'm looking too quickly. I don't think so. So please make sure the Mother's Day post is included and a promo slot for the workshop. Oh, wait, it does have the workshop in there. Fine. Does it have the Mother's Day in there? I don't feel like it is. So I'm just going to say, please make sure the Mother's Day post is included. And this is what I'm talking about when it means you're going back and forth with ChatGPT, because it's not a perfect device, so it could miss something. So there you go. You see it said, oh, thanks for catching that. That's why you also can't just be sleeping here. You got to make sure you're also paying attention. But there you go. It added in our Mother's Day post. And then, of course, as I mentioned, what I actually really love, it promoted our workshop. And then it actually did like a very cute BTS reel of setting it up afterwards. So I love that it thought like, okay, you're going to make content. You're definitely going to want to take stuff from behind the scenes, use that at another point in time in the month. So I love that. So here you would have your entire content calendar set up and ready to go. Also, if you had just like a specific holiday, if your content calendar was already mapped and you had a specific holiday, you could just ask it to outline something for like a key event or holiday and give you a plan or strategy around that. I'm actually just going to do that just so you all can see that too, to see how it could really help you. Amazing. Can you please come up with a 5-part carousel that promotes my Mother's Day special, including a CTA for 20% off DIY kits? I'm just making up something here. But that's like if you really wanted to get specific. And in our prompt guide, we do actually have a full prompt for this. But here you go. 5-part carousel, and then it's coming up with every single slide for this as well. Forget flowers, give her a gift that grows. And then of course you work back and forth from there. And then they have the offer there for us too. So it's mapped out that entire promo post. So if you already have your calendar, but you're just stuck on an idea for a specific sale or promo or offer in general, you could just ask ChatGPT to sketch that out for you. And then once you've got your content mapped out, you can plug everything into whatever tool you use to stay organized, like Google Sheets or Notion or Asana, or even just like your actual calendar app. You just want to take those dates that ChatGPT has given you and make sure that it works with your calendar as well for publishing. So now, just in the small time that we spent together, we already have our profile optimized. We've come up with the content pillars for the base of our entire content strategy. And now we've outlined a full calendar for the month. So now that we have our content calendar locked in, we can use ChatGPT to help us create the full copy for our carousels or scripts and shot lists for our reels. So if you were creating a carousel, for example, you could prompt ChatGPT with the topic, the product or service you want to highlight, and then the theme of the post. So here's what an educational post would look like for that. I need help creating a, let's say, 7-slide educational carousel for Instagram about, and you know what's actually cool? Remember, it already gave us the topics. You already have them there. So now you're not coming up with it on your own. Let's see. Okay, I wanted to make that a reel, so I'll leave that for a reel since I'll do shelf styling with air plans. Okay. We'll say shelf styling with air plants. Can you outline what each slide should cover and suggest some copy based on my voice and tone? And this is actually a voice and tone that it's already just slightly made up just based on the small conversation that we've had so far. But here you can see it's put together a 7-slide carousel as asked. We have our hook and we have our headline there. We have even a recommendation on the visual, and you can see that they've added a specific tip with a text and visual for each slide of your carousel. Now, I'm just asking it to do this because I don't actually have a plant shop. So what we would really recommend is this is guided by you a little bit more. So you would be integrating and saying, here are the 5 tips, or here's the 6 tips I want to cover. Can you brief this out? Or can you make sure that my copy is good? You don't want it to be, obviously you're the expert. You should be the expert. You should be the true creator. So ChatGPT shouldn't be making up tips for you and telling your audience everything. Otherwise, that's when they could just go online and do it themselves. So it should be obviously your recommendations, but I'm just showing you what ChatGPT is able to do. Even if they gave you this and then you worked from it, that could be another approach that you could take too. But look at all the copy made for your carousel in less than 1 minute. And then when it comes to reels, you can also have ChatGPT help you with your reel scripts, your outlines, and your shot list by simply providing it with the concept or theme of your reel and any specific actions or scenes you want to include. So that would look like pasting this in here, which is I'm planning to create a reel for Instagram about, and remember, we already have our topics outlined because we did this together already. So now we'll talk about our air plant care tips. Air plant care tips. It would be around, say, 60 seconds in length. And highlight, we could decide what we want, which is like, say, highlight our air plant special happening. And then this one, it actually knows the pillar, so I actually don't have to give it the pillar in this case. But if you're in the middle of this process already and you already have your pillars created, that's when you'd want to give ChatGPT your pillars and then say, this is the pillar it's attached to. Can you help me create an outline, shot list, and suggest text overlays? And then we're going to have ChatGPT outline our full Instagram reel. Never tell me that you can't make an Instagram reel, okay? Look how much is already being done for you. It's just about you showing up to actually be on video or to create the video after this. But here is your reel concept in full. So Air Plant Care 101 plus our special. So we're talking about 60 seconds in length, what the tone is, and what our call to action is going to be, which is taking advantage of our offer. And it's listed out every single shot for us. So our hook and then the overlay text, as I mentioned, so that you're not stuck on that too. And then even recommendations for the audio as well. And it's done that for every single tip and let us know what it recommends the visual should be for every shot of that reel. How convenient is that? There is no reason for you to be stuck when ChatGPT can help you in this way. And one serious pro tip here is if you notice that there is a trend or a viral hook happening on Reels, like, you know, all the POV style, whatever it might be, you can include that in your prompt and ask ChatGPT to recommend the visual and text for it too. I'm just going to do this live. So we're going to go to Instagram and then we'll just head to my explore page, for example, here. So here I found one, for example, which is things I wish my younger self knew. So I'm just copying that over. So can we do a version of this hook, but relevant to my plant shop, please? And this is what the hook looks like. Things I wish my younger self knew, which I did see come up in different variations. For example, she's saying for when she started dating, but we're going to make it apply to us. Perfect already. This hook is super conversational, personable, and relatable. And then immediately, things I wish I knew before becoming a plant parent. What I wish someone told me before buying my first succulent. This is such an underrated way to use the hooks that are already popping and really popular on Instagram. Just screenshot the hooks, pop them into ChatGPT and ask it to make some variations of hooks that are related to your business, your brand, your personality as a creator. And you can see that it's even giving you suggestions on how to use it. So things I wish I knew before becoming a plant parent, great for educational or beginner friendly tips. What I wish someone told me before buying my first succulent, perfect for a lead-in reel about care, overwatering, or light needs. Look how simple that is. And then you could even use all 5 of these hooks if you'd like, and then create 5 reels from that. So you can see how ChatGPT can be really helpful in speeding up your workflow process, because from here, you then start looking to batch the tasks that are needed to film or photograph or design the graphics for all the content that we just created here together. You would just repeat this exact process for every post. And if you want to learn more about how to batch create content, we covered it in full in this video, so I definitely recommend that you check that video out next. Now, if you've watched any other videos from us, you know we talk about how beneficial it is to repurpose your content. And one of the best ways to do this is with ChatGPT. And the reason that you should be repurposing your content is because not everybody sees all your posts, and your message is likely very important and needs to be seen multiple times anyways. So the 2 main ways you can do this is you can turn one format of content into another format that you would just post at a later date. So for example, you would turn a reel script that you have into a carousel post, and all you would need to do is give ChatGPT your reel script and ask it to create a carousel and spread those points out with a title card and then a CTA card, so an end card. And then second, if you publish across multiple platforms at a time, so you have a cross-platform strategy where you might be creating for Instagram first and then distributing across, like, say, LinkedIn and X or Threads, for example, all you would have to do is ask ChatGPT to adapt the post that you give it to ensure it's relevant to how content is shared on that other platform as well. And I will say, being a YouTuber or just an expert or creator who writes in long form, like having a Substack, for example, is so beneficial for this, because you can have ChatGPT leverage your script to turn it into multiple pieces of content. So that could be a YouTube video that becomes a reel, that becomes a carousel, that becomes a newsletter, to a long form LinkedIn post, to like a series of tweets or threaded posts. It's so convenient and the opportunities are endless. So overall, repurposing content is just such a great way to stretch your content so you don't have to keep creating from new every single time. And this is why we say working smarter, not harder. And you'll find a prompt for repurposing. We just don't have a post to repurpose yet. You'll find a prompt for repurposing in that guide as well. And of course, every post needs a caption. You just have to be very careful here, though, that your voice and your tone are really coming through here. So ChatGPT, it can help you communicate your point, but you'll likely have to, and you should, adjust it to make sure it's always your ideas, like I mentioned before, and your voice that's coming through. And one way that we do this is to have some of our clients leverage ChatGPT paired with our 3-part framework from our Captions That Convert guide. I'll be sure to link that below too. But this looks like every caption having a hook to stop people in their scroll, context or story to connect or inform, and then a call to action that guides the next steps. So we break this all down in detail in our captions guide. I'm going to have a lot of links for you in the description box below. But in there, there's like templates, example captions. There's a huge bank of hooks and CTAs, so you can plug them directly into ChatGPT and help you speed things up. But even without that guide though, here's how you could prompt ChatGPT. I need a compelling caption for an Instagram post promoting, and I'm going to come back up here because we have so many good things in our content calendar. Let's see. Let's go with our event, which was the terrarium workshop. Our terrarium workshop event. I literally forgot what day the event is because I'm just making all of this stuff up. What day was that event? May 18th. Okay. Oh, it actually would know that. You know, I'm going to show you that it would know. Our upcoming, I'm just going to say, terrarium workshop event. The caption should include a hook, a description of the event, and then a CTA too. And then you're going to put what the offer is or what the call to action is, what you want people to do, which is book tickets in this case, /RSVP. Can you write a caption that resonates with my target audience? So here we go. Ready? See, remember the date. Ready to get your hands dirty in the cutest possible way? That's cute. Our next terrarium workshop is coming up on May 18th. You're invited to sit, plant, and create. It even added some like cool, fun stuff. And then I love this because we talked about Mother's Day. It even snuck in. It's perfect for a solo creative date, a girl's day, or even a unique Mother's Day gift idea. So it even gave us like a little bit of a promotional idea to promote Mother's Day, but also promote our event as a gift idea. Very cute caption. Spots are limited. Tap the link in the bio to reserve your seat. And in a perfect world, you actually would have ManyChat here, and you would have something that's like comment workshop, and we'll send you a link to reserve your seat. But that is a perfect caption. And then you would just refine to make sure that the post sounds like you, or again, you would give it the caption and you could say like, hey, can you optimize this caption to make sure that I'm hitting all my points that I need to, or even just honestly as like a grammar check and just an overall spelling check. And a real bonus tip here, which I've just briefly mentioned, is if you use ManyChat to automate your DMs and engagement on Instagram like we do, which we've spoken about many times on this channel, because it's really allowed us to increase our engagement and drive traffic to our offers, that you could have ChatGPT help you with messaging throughout your automation flow. So that whole conversation that people have in the DMs with you / your ManyChat bot. So if you want to learn more about how to use ManyChat, Craig just filmed a tutorial on how to use their super easy, quick automation flow. I will link it here and in the description box for you as well. So now that you've got your content pillars, your post ideas, and your drafts ready to go, it is the perfect time, as I mentioned earlier, to batch your content. So I definitely recommend that you check out the video that's going to pop up here so you can turn batching content into one smooth system. I really hope that you found this video helpful and that it gave you some insight on how you can really use ChatGPT to help you and keep you consistent without any of this overwhelm, all right? It's all about creating processes and systems that help you be more efficient and effective. If you like this video, if you want to see more videos in relations to how we use AI, please let me know in the comment section below. Give me a like and definitely check out that video next. I will see you in the next one. Bye.